In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to pass variables between workflows in n8n using the execute subworkflow and execute subworkflow trigger nodes. This method not only makes your workflows more modular and easier to manage, but also ensures a smooth and clear transfer of data. To begin with, let's create the subworkflow. This subworkflow will be a separate, smaller workflow that can be called upon by your main workflow or the parent workflow whenever needed. Start by creating a new workflow dedicated to being your subworkflow. At the very beginning of this subworkflow, add an execute subworkflow trigger node. This node acts like a catcher's mitt, ready to receive any data handed off by the parent workflow. It's crucial that you configure this node to expect the parameters or data types you're planning to pass in. This configuration will make these parameters available as variables within the subworkflow, ready to be used wherever needed. Once your parameters are set, you can dive into building the core logic of your subworkflow. Keep in mind that all the variables you'll use, connected to data from the parent, should seamlessly integrate into this logic you've built. At the end, make sure that the final node of your subworkflow neatly packages the data you want to send back to the parent workflow. This is vital as the parent workflow will rely on this data to continue executing its tasks. Now, let's turn our attention back to the parent workflow. Here, add an execute subworkflow node. This special node will serve as the bridge between your parent and subworkflows. You need to configure it to call the subworkflow you created earlier. You can choose it by its name, Idaho, or even provide the workflow's JSON if that suits your setup better. This step makes sure the right subworkflow is activated at the right time. Next, it's time to map the data or variables from your parent workflow that you want to pass to the subworkflow. Think of it as handing over custom luggage. You're being intentional about what gets transferred. These mapped data points should correspond precisely to the parameters you configured in the execute subworkflow trigger node of your subworkflow. After your subworkflow does its job, any data returned by its final node is sent back to your parent workflow. You'll find this data outputted from the execute subworkflow node, tied neatly for you to employ as needed in the remainder of the parent workflow's execution. By following these steps, you seamlessly enable variable sharing across workflows in n8n, making your automation more sophisticated and adaptable. This modular approach doesn't just streamline your processes, but also makes them easier to maintain and scale in the long run. Happy automating!